Hello, I'm Jane Harrison. I'm absolutely delighted to have been asked to contribute to Amanda's Careermum blogs, or vlogs, should I say, over this festive period. Um, I'm going to be talking to you about something that I feel really passionate about, and that's the menopause. Bit of an odd thing to feel passionate about, but the reason why is that it's still pretty much taboo. And when I found myself going through my experience, I had no frame of reference, didn't know what it was, and actually had quite an awful time of it. So, if by talking about this to you all now helps just one person, then I'll be a very happy bunny. So, what is menopause? I guess I'm assuming that everyone knows what that is now. However, I know that's not always the case. So, the technical side of things, it means stopping periods. It's as simple as that, really. If only it were that simple. Um, but with that comes a whole raft of physical and emotional and potentially psychological impacts or symptoms. I don't really like the word symptoms for it, actually, because this is a natural life stage. It's not a disease. We're all going to go through this at some point. It will just affect our bodies and our minds for some in a greater or lesser extent. So for me, unfortunately, I was quite unlucky. I found myself not sleeping. That really was the first thing. I would be spending a lot of time itching, sweating, getting up at 3 a.m. Yeah, I probably had about 2 or 3 hours sleep a night for a really significant amount of time, for about 2 years, really. And obviously, the impact of no sleep is well documented. I was just like a shell of a person. And really, it was one of my friends that said, "Oh, you don't think you might be menopausal, do you?" It just had never really occurred to me, to be honest. I thought I was still young, and that menopause only happened to really old people. Um, so yes, I was very surprised at the diagnosis when it finally came at the doctor. Um, and she put me onto antidepressants first of all, which did help with the sleeping. But since sort of reaching out and writing about this, I found out much more about it. And to be honest, your GP isn't necessarily always going to be armed with the right information. So, what I would say is, if at any point you find yourself wondering whether this is something that's affecting you, then reach out, talk to other women. I was lucky enough to, I guess, connect with a menopause therapist and also a menopause doctor, who enabled me really to go back to my own GP armed with the correct information for me. And since that time, I mean, I've opted for HRT. That's not for everybody. So, yeah. So the sorts of things that I was really grappling with, as well as sleeplessness, and the main thing really, so this is less about physical symptoms like sweats, etc. But for me, it was very much a feeling of I'd lost my energy and my spark. I had no motivation. I just used to have, be very bubbly, articulate, full of energy, full of life, life and soul of the party. And actually, I was just wanting to hide away, and felt very depressed, actually, very low mood. Had no motivation, not even for my work, which, again, people that know me well, they were really concerned about that. And actually, I got to the point of, is this it now? Is this what life's going to be like? Because actually, you know, it wasn't a great prospect. I do apologise. My dog's making some real funny noises in the background. So, yeah, HRT has actually reconnected me with my light again, if you like. I've got my energy back. That's not for everybody. Other people find that natural and I guess alternative therapies work well for them. But if I have any advice at all, it would be look at your resilience foundations. I found keeping a journal really important. I was writing down what I was eating, my exercise regime, how many hours of sleep I was getting a night, and also then scoring myself on my mood and my energy levels just to see what needed to shift and what I might be able to do about it. And then the other tip really is talk. Seek support, seek advice from people that might be going through something similar. But hopefully through the work that we're doing, a community called Hempicked, we're looking to get this on UK business agenda too, because we do feel it's a really important and much missed aspect of the world of work. And we are going to be working into our 60s, late 60s, potentially 70s, 80s, who knows? I mean, by the time I come to retire, I might be near 100. So yeah, this is going to be important, whereas it wasn't before. We menopaused much earlier. Much later, and died much earlier. Only 100 years ago, our average life expectancy was about 60. So the structure of our working lives, the structure of life itself is very different now, and I think we have to kind of move with the times to cope with that. So getting out there, talking, looking after yourself, eating, sleeping, exercising, cutting down the alcohol, and making those subtle changes can really have a big impact. I could talk about this for hours, and I've been given 5 minutes and I'm already way over. So, if you want to know more, connect with me. Please do. I'm on Twitter at JaneHarrison3 or on LinkedIn. Alternatively, please send me an email, jane.harrison@peakpotentialltd.co.uk. It's been nice chatting to you. Bye now.